In a small peaceful village called Amelka, an old man covered with cloaks shows up through a portal pushing a towel with a baby inside. The villagers are really afraid because all they sensed is trouble. The man pays no attention to them and walks his way out of the town where we see a bug-like creature called the Noxan spying on him. They take pictures of him and sends it to a mysterious man wearing a mask called Nox. Just as the old man crosses the bridge, he gets attacked by 3 horned monsters who are curious to know what is in the baby's carriage. He defeats these monsters in seconds, but another person blocks his way. He is Nox, who applauds the man for defeating his 3 monsters easily despite his old age. Nox explains his insatiable hunger for Wakfu, an energy in all living creature in this universe. He threatens the man to reveal where he got his incredible powers, and as well tell him what's in the baby's carriage. The old man's name is revealed to be Grugaloragran, who obviously doesn't want any trouble and calmly tells Nox to walk away. Upon hearing the old man's name, Nox realizes that Grugal is from the dragon race. Excited at finding such a rare creature, he tries to attack. Grugal uses his spell to elevate the baby to the sky and fights back with a ball of fire from his mouth. Nox faces defeat as he watches Grugal leave the forest with the baby, but not before vowing to find him again when he becomes more powerful. Just at a nearby village, 2 bounty hunters called Rule and Alibert arrests a man called Jason for stealing food. Jason explains to them that he had no choice because he wanted to feed his hungry family. The bounty hunters thought he was lying until Jason's daughter shows up at the scene. Upon seeing her father in chains, the kid begins to cry. The crying child melts Alibert's heart, and he decides to let Jason go but leave him with a warning never to steal again. Just as the father and daughter leaves, Alibert throws down his weapon saying he doesn't want to be a bounty hunter anymore because he doesn't see it as his life purpose, but instead wants to find a new job. His colleague Rule wishes him good luck, and the 2 best friends went their separate ways. Grugal has been watching Alibert the whole time from afar and smiles to himself after witnessing an act of kindness. He takes an egg from a bird, which is called the tofu in this world, and casted a spell on it, causing the egg to hatch. He takes the baby tofu from the hatched egg and places it beside the baby to keep him company. After this, Grugal disappears. Alibert sees the baby carriage and goes to check it out. Inside is a blonde baby with only a blue hat for clothes. He carries the baby and, upon seeing the blue feather, holds it in front of his face. The feather elevates to the air and puts down a message in Dragonish language, which we will find out later. He seems unfazed by it, but laughs at himself for finally being able to find a great treasure. Fast forward 12 years later, the baby is all grown up, and Alibert had named the child Yugo and his tofu called Az. During their sleep, a very loud explosion sound wakes them up. Alibert had attempted to bake some bread but fails again, which was what resulted to the explosion. We find out he owns a restaurant. He tells his adopted son Yugo and Az to buy more bread from the nearby shop. The scene takes us to see 2 tofus fighting over a kama. In case you don't know, a kama is a money used in this world. Alibert friend, Real scares the tofus away and takes the kama. His attention is diverted by the passing of 2 female travelers called Amalia and Evangeline, who stops to ask Rule for directions to Amelka. After seeing the expensive items they were carrying, he offers to lead them to Amelka for 5 kamas. The travelers rides away after getting the directions and thank him while leaving. He tries to chase them for a better deal, but gives up after complaining about all the broke tourists that go through the area and walks away. Back at home, Yugo cheerfully prepares stew for Alibert customers. His friend shows up and requests he should come join them to play gobble at the arena, but the kid rejects as he needs to help out his father. As the kids leave, Rule enters the inn and reunites with his best friend Alibert. He tells Alibert of his plans to start up a restaurant or form a gobble team. Just as Alibert tells Yugo to serve Rule some stew, Rule is surprised on how Alibert got a son but gets no clear explanation. Just as Yugo goes to make more stew for the customers, he gets into an accident that made him realize that he has powers to open portals. At the restaurant toilet, a guy called Dali gets possessed by a powerful demon. The possessed Dali enters the restaurant and chases the customers away. Yugo, who believes he has powers, confidently confronts this demon. Dali sends him flinging in the air, but Rule and Alibert goes to intervene. By looking at Dali's eyes, Rule realizes that he is possessed by an evil spirit called the Shushu. Just as Dali is about to crush them, Yugo unleashes his portal powers and lands in the monster's head. Alibert, seeing this, recalls a dracony message he saw the day he found Yugo. It told him how the child in the Tufus is very special, and it has chosen him to take care of them and protect them from harm with his life. One day the boy's powers will awaken and a message will appear telling him how to find his true family. Yugo removes the demon from Dali's head, making him to return back to normal. After the fight, Alibert tells Yugo the message he found at his baby carriage concerning his real family, but this talk is interrupted by a chaos outside. Black creatures called the Polters attacks the townspeople and turns them to plants. While Yugo and Rule are busy fighting off the monster, Alibert sees some about to hurt a mother and her children. He goes to save them but gets turned into a plant, but before that, he tells Yugo that he should go find the message telling him where to find his real family. Nox is seen spying on them, who seems surprised how Yugo has this much energy in him along with his Tophus. Rule tells Yugo not to cry because they will surely find the cure for Alibert. Dali vows to repay Yugo with his life for saving him from the demon. Yugo wants to go to the Forbidden Forest believing he can find why those Polters attacked them and a way to turn his father back to normal. He is joined by Rule and Dali on this mission. On the other hand, we find out that Noxinoxines have been going around the area and draining it of its energy. Through them was how he spied on Yugo and detected the large amount of energy in him. Nox realizes that the child Bruegel was protecting in the baby carriage is no other person but Yuko, so he prepares himself to find Yugo believing his main target Bruegel will show up. Meanwhile, in the forest, the heroes hear cries and rush to help just to find two travelers Amalia and Evangeline attacked by Polters.
They're everywhere!
They rescued the girls, and when Rule wonders what the girls are doing in the Forbidden Forest, Amelia mentions that she had a prophetic dream that told her to come to the forest for a special mission. She believes they are destined to meet Yugo and his team and follow the same path. Yugo is happy because the more number they are, the best chances of saving his village. Just as they continue their mission, Amelia feels the presence of an ancient evil. Just at that moment, the group gets attacked by a talking tree called the Soft Oak. The Soft Oak, mistaking Amelia for an old friend, explains that he sent the Polters to turn all humans into trees to tie their fate to that of the forest. Amelia heals him and convinces him that while forests throughout the world are facing great danger, it will take courageous humans to protect them. Satisfied, he agrees to give them another chance. The Soft Oak sends his Polters back to their village, and all those that return to tree returns to normal, including Yugo's dad. Their happy moment is interrupted by the arrival of Nox in the village. We find out that Nox is a time wizard as he freezes Yugo and his friends in the air. He threatens Yugo to tell him everything he knows about Bruegel, but the kid is confused. During the confrontation, Yugo gets Bruegel's message of finding his real family on Oma Island. Angry Alibert manages to break free from Noxitime control and drives him away, but he begins to age really fast in the process. Since they can't do anything about it, Yugo and his new friends immediately set out on a journey to locate Yugo's real family at Oma Island. We find out that Amalia is a princess, and instead of going back to her father's boring castle, she tells her colleague Evangeline that she wants to go on an adventure. She decides to join Yugo and his friends, and Evangeline decides to tag along too. The group cannot find the location of Oma Island, so they branch to the Kelba market to buy a map of the world. When they arrived, they find the marketplace under attack by a mysterious creature known as the Black Crow. The creature is really fast, but Yugo believes if they attack together, they will be able to land a successful blow.
3, 2...
The coward! He's flying away!
Their strategy worked as the Black Crow gets scared and flies away. The group find about a shop owned by a man called K-Brock, the only one who has a map of the world. When they got into the beautiful shop where they saw amazing items, they get welcomed by K-Brock's wife Miranda. K-Brock later shows up and tours them around the items in his shop. Evangeline opens up that what they need is the world map. K-Brock doesn't want to sell it because of the map's great power, but his controlling wife is ready to sell it only if they offer her a great price. The map has a face, and all you need to do is to request to the map to find a place you're looking for, and it will reveal it. K-Brock's wife offers to give them the map for free only if they help her defeat the Black Crow that always terrorized their village. The group could defeat it, but surely with a good plan. They disguise Rule as a Kelba merchant to lure the evil bird. When the bird arrives, their plan fails to work as it captures Rule. To Rule's surprise, he finds out that the Black Crow is no other person but K-Brock, who was bored with his life and wanted adventure again and believes that attacking the local merchants was the way to get it. Just as Yugo and his group finds them, he tells them that only if they defeat him they will get the map, but if they lose, he will take all their equipment and their adventures will end here. The group stick together, but they were no match.
There are too many of them! I can't stop them all!
until the angry Yugo unleashes his portal powers and defeats Kabrock. As agreed, he handed the map to them but tells Yugo that with his courage and great powers he will become a wonderful adventurer. The next episode begins with the group who are lost in the forest because the map refuses to show them the path they need to follow. Anyway, they find themselves in front of a tower that belongs to 4 princesses. Rule has heard of how dangerous the castle is, so they try to warn Dali, who was already climbing his way into the castle to save the princesses and be their husbands. But what Dali sees next was really terrifying. He discovers the princesses are really ugly. Princess Anka has a smallpox disease, Jolene is the princess covered with beards, one looks like a mummy named Urpel, and the final princess looks like a troll who is introduced as Leela. Princess Anka narrates that there were all once beautiful princesses that all princes in different lands had a crush on. But after they made fun of all their suitors, a very powerful wizard shows up and lays a curse on them to be ugly. Dali was like how this story has anything to do with him, but Anka replies that only a kiss from a brave warrior like him can undo the curse. Dali is irritated. Yugo in a rush tries to get in to rescue Dali, but it turns out that the door was also cursed. Only ugly princesses can get inside the castle. The group suddenly gets an idea, which is for them to enter the castle. They just need to dress up like ugly princesses. With their disguise, they are able to get inside the tower. What do you think is going to happen next? If you want me to continue the recap of this show, please let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.